he's the most exciting because he is vulnerable, because he's not unbeatable. He's got crazy fast twitchies, he can box, but he's so aggressive and he's vulnerable enough to counters that it's actually exciting. Tank got that Tyson-esque fast twitchies and the power, but because he's getting hit in exchange more.
Tank, hold up, Gervonta, you are a I don't care what anybody says, you can be all that rah-rah thug life and scream and jock your head on Chief Keef Sosa. Man, with your sucking lips, get out of here.
It's a tank. Who can fight a tank? Okay? Once he fires, it's
Tank Davis, the walking glitch in boxing physics, comes after powerful and hazardous when discussing knockout power. You think, that guy can't possibly hit that hard, as you gaze at him.
Tank, to me, man, is a dangerous man, but he's at his most dangerous point when he's looking in your head, he's smiling and shaking his head and walking towards you.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Because it's almost like he beats you and he's tasting your blood. Oh, you taste good.
As serious as he can be, at basically every point of a promotion and every point of the beginning of a fight, and then once he starts to crack a smile, it's like, what can you do?
However, after that, you witness his rivals disintegrating like their Wi-Fi, simply losing touch with reality. You also understand that this isn't hype. It's slow-motion horror. He doesn't even appear to be a puncher, according to fighters. No bodybuilder physique, no torn biceps, just unwavering confidence wrapped in pure dynamite.
Skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me, like nobody. I feel like my skills is way better than like Floyd. Like if I'm on my game. Well, I take that back. Probably hand in hand. But skill wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. Nobody. Like talking about top to bottom list of fighters that's fighting.
Tank takes his time. He researches you. He gives you room to breathe, makes you believe that you are safe, and then the lights go out. That isn't the force of boxing. Wearing gloves allows for a controlled detonation. It's more than simply the knockout that makes Tank genuinely dangerous. The setup is the problem. Great fighters, in the words of Andre Ward, fight like they've lived.
Man, that dude, Gervonta Davis, my first time watching him. I seen him a video on Instagram, man. I looked up his highlights, too. That dude's a beast, man. He's great speed, great defense in those uppercuts, man. I'm not a hater, man. If I see somebody I think is good, man, I'll talk good about him. You know, some people, they just see boxing and they don't appreciate it. They talk bad about him. But me, I see a good fighter and I respect.
You can tell that Tank has experienced a lot of agony from his beat. He will smile as he walks you down, shaking his head as if to say, "You done messed up." And it's already over from that point on. Before he physically breaks you, he breaks you emotionally. It was best expressed by one warrior. Tank's smile during a battle is a result of having already tasted blood. He is in the Tyson zone, which is the area of the ring when the knockout is merely a formality and dread turns into fuel.
But Tank, one thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he's explosive.
You believe there's a chance the other guy can win, and that makes it even more exciting, to say nothing of the pace he sets, the level of action, the level of bombs that are thrown by Tank, and as he fights better opposition, the number that will be coming back at him. Yeah, he's guaranteed thrills for the dollar.
The crazy part comes next. Tank is more than just a fighter. He is a strategist masquerading as anarchy. His defense is discussed as witchcraft by fighters who have sparred with him. Instead of rounds or exchanges, he will move from high guard to crochet to head movement in a matter of seconds. You lose oxygen with only one slip or spasm. This guy doesn't trade defense for destruction like other powerful punchers do.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. Like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Tank, is that true? You almost killed a heavyweight in the ring? That's what he said.
Should be happening.
Because he asked me, how does a 135-pounder take your power? I said, I don't think anybody takes the power.
In real time, He is creating elite boxers who are swinging at ghosts and regretting their decisions. What sets him apart from 99% of fighters nowadays is his combination of ferocity and intelligence. Therefore, let's stop acting as though this man isn't among the planet's most complete warriors. Inside a 135-pound body, he possesses Tyson's soul, Mayweather's intelligence, and Pacquiao's ferocity. It appears as though someone hit, create a fighter, and maximized each and every attribute.
Punch, he's a knockout artist. He can box, he's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes, he finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? The time has arrived for us to stand down and to start giving Gervonta Davis the love and respect that he deserves. This brother is elite.
You can debate resumes all day long, but when you're facing Gervonta Tank Davis, it's more than just a boxing match. You are up against a smiling storm. All of the jabs, counters, and feints are designed to make you forget which round you are in. Don't worry if you still don't believe Tank deserves his roses. After the knockout, he will give them to you. And just when you thought the drama between the Tank and Jake was getting heated, Gervonta unleashes a bomb that rocks the whole boxing online. Have you ever heard something so crazy that you had to stop the movie and go back to make sure your ears weren't deceiving you? This was the time. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather tried to set me up to fail over his daughter, Tank essentially stated. We went from fighting to a full-fledged Netflix family drama, bro.
Do you think Floyd did that intentionally? Yeah, for sure. Why? After so much time, after I guess, again, after what we think he helped you come into the game, he gave you the spotlight, why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it, because I don't want to bring up it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept Snapchatting me. Okay. She kept hitting me on the Snapchat.
This cannot be made up. It resembles the sequel. Everyone is watching, but no one asked for it. The absurd thing is that Tank didn't even sound resentful. He sounded as though he had already moved on from it. For example, I wrote the book even though that chapter is over. That cool assurance that comes when you've made it through the game's politics and emerged unscathed was palpable. Let's face it though, this entire situation demonstrates how crazy boxing is behind the scenes. We discuss money, legacy, and promoters, but envy, in this sport, that is the silent killer. Floyd noticed that the child he had found was becoming his own boss, and it began to seem a bit too familiar. When Tank outgrown the puppet strings, the traditional control game was no longer functional.
They sent it to Floyd, and Floyd bugged out. Okay. So that's what made it like.
And you think that was the downfall of your career? I mean, y'all.
No, it was a downfall. Yeah, it wasn't a downfall of my career. I mean, our relationship, because it was more things that he was doing. Like
he scheduled a fight, I think, doing like your fight or something. I don't think they did it, but
stuff like that.
Promoting.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
He is currently establishing his own empire. As a man who is no longer afraid of losing access, he speaks his mind and takes battles on his terms. It's messy. It's dramatic. Boxing is what it is. But it's addictive because of that. You may be competing for respect one day and for belts the next. And Gervonta is winning both in some way. Okay, so I'm going to cut through the haze and tell you this directly after all that heavyweight talk about legacy and being the face. We are witnessing Gervonta Tank Davis enter a very costly, narrow rope. I understand. You, for example, you get paid like a king in the Jake Paul battle, but we don't exchange legacy for money without repercussions. Tank's timing and power continue to terrify fighters. However, this is a man who has only dabbled in danger a few times before avoiding the rematch.
And not watching boxing in the United States of America. That has left a hole that the broadcasters have looked to fill, and they've done this with influencer boxing, which brings a completely different audience to the game. Every promoter and broadcaster on this planet is to blame for this situation that we are finding ourselves in right now. They've opened the door to clowns, and now we've got ourselves a circus. It is a travesty.
Therefore, you should treat it like a real fight rather than a lucrative photo opportunity when you enter the fray with a 200-pound novelty that sells out. The boxing nerds will have a field day if Tank arrives with a lack of enthusiasm. If he arrives cold, clinical, and leaves early, that paycheck appears to be a calculated retirement strategy rather than a capitulation. You invited me to be blunt and dramatic, so now let me do that. A promotional hurricane is Jake Paul. Fans who don't know a jab from a jaywalk will be among the views, noise, and people he brings. That is beneficial of everyone's bottom line, but it doesn't automatically absolve Tank of his obligation to the sport or make him a boxer. The hot take is as follows. Tanks don't have to engage in full-scale combat. All he needs is a performance that leaves people wondering why. He leaves with money and some dignity intact after a brutal first-half knockout or a strategic deconstruction. Is there anything else? A poor choice, a contentious draw, or worse. Additionally, he gives the story to the critics who have been honing their craft for months. Pay close attention, since this is more about Tank's intended message for his story after the lights go off than it is about competence.
Yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a cat.
Ultimately, Gervonta Davis is engaged in more than simply a battle with Jake Paul. He is battling the ticking clock of superstardom, perception, and legacy. Every great boxer has to deal with a situation like this. The intersection of ability and spectacle, where a single mistake can completely change the course of your story. Because it's not just about who hits harder in this fight. Who controls the moment is at issue. Tank is entering a circus where millions of people are watching. However, he isn't there to amuse. His purpose is to remind everyone that boxing isn't popular on YouTube. The craft is deeply ingrained. It won't be just another incident if he passes Jake Paul like a tornado knocking down a billboard knockout. It will be a statement that genuine fighters, not algorithms, still own boxing. The internet will go crazy more quickly than a pay-per-view refund, though, if Jake manages to survive, steal bullets, or even get that one lucky shot. The risk of brilliance is that the sharper the knives, the higher you're thrown.
Got a guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire.
Tank isn't only interested in winning. He is defending an empire whose reputation is based on timing, accuracy, and terror. His comments will never be as loud as the smirks, jabs, and feints in that ring. Please share your opinions in the comments area. And let's discuss this further. Additionally, remember to subscribe, like, and share Boxing Headquarters. See you at the following one.